So, House Bill 5345 is very simple. It's only a few pages long. It would only allow officers of the peace to carry firearms on school grounds. Now, I understand that officers of the peace is a pretty broad definition, so I've included for each of you that section of the law that defines what that means. But just for sake of argument for the rest of the people here, officers of the peace include our state troopers, all municipality officers, DEM officers of that kind. So right now, under current Rhode Island law, you are not allowed to bring a gun into the convention center. You're not allowed to bring a gun into the post office and multiple other government buildings, including the building we're in right now, the Rhode Island State House. All this bill would do is put our K-12 schools, the places where we send our children to go and learn, under that same measure. In support of this bill, we have 25 Rhode Island school committees passed a resolution in support of this back in 2016. The Rhode Island Police Chiefs Association also supports this. Governor Gino Raimondo supports this. Attorney General Peter Kilmartin supports it. And there are a multitude of reasons why, and you'll see that all in your packet. But the reasons I support this and the reasons I want you to think about when you're sitting in these your seats and you're hearing this bill is to put yourself in their shoes. Put yourselves in the shoes of that police officer that, God forbid, is running to a call to a school that has a shooting. You're running into that building. How do you know who's the shooter and who isn't? Now, they can get reports, but you're going in, you see somebody with a gun. They're trained to keep those children safe. So having multitude of people with guns adds to the confusion and adds to the flurry. Also, put yourselves in the shoes of that parent. You're a parent that's dropping your child off at school. You're sending them there to learn. Think about the purpose of our schools and why we send our children there. I ask that you put yourselves in these shoes, and I'm happy to answer any questions. We do have plenty of experts here to talk further on the bill, but I'd be happy to give it a shot.
Thank you. Does the committee have any questions for the sponsor of House Bill 5345? Representative Shanley.
Thank you, Representative. I received a number of emails on this particular bill, and a lot of them indicated that this would actually make schools less safe. Can you respond to that argument?
I've heard this argument many times. I think it's very vague, and I don't think it addresses the concern that we're trying to combat here with this bill. But I will say this. If keeping the law the way it currently is and not putting schools under the bridge of all other municipal buildings, government buildings, the convention center, post offices, if that's going to make schools less safe, then we're also saying that all those other buildings are now less safe. That's the way I look at it. So I think the State House is a pretty safe place. Convention Center is a pretty safe place. Just trying to put schools in that same realm.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Representative Vella Wilkinson.
Keep it on for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative. If this bill was to take effect, any parent who has a permit for concealed carry would then be required to lock their gun in their vehicle. So do you think that that would be the safest way to have school sporting events and so forth, with parents coming in for plays and parent-teachers meetings if they've got the guns locked in a vehicle outside the school?
I would definitely feel that is safer. Look, I can't speak to every person who has a permit to carry. I can't speak to every parent that's out there. I know that there are some that follow the law to a T. They're excellent gun owners, and they also practice regularly. We also have plenty permit to carry people that don't practice regularly. I'm not here to judge who is who and what is what, and they all have their Second Amendment right to carry their weapon. But again, we don't know who is who, what is what, and we don't know who's walking into these school buildings, these school grounds, and what their background is and what their knowledge is of their guns. So I would say it's safer that they all keep them locked and sealed in their cars.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Representative Vice Chair Agello.
Thank you, Chairman Keeble. Representative Kazarian, can you tell us where other states are on this, particularly Massachusetts and
Sure. Both states have actually passed this measure as well. I'd also like to point out that Representative Ruggiero has also sponsored this bill in the past. Has done a great job with it. But yes, both of our neighbors have passed this legislation.
And how many other states around the country?
So I believe we're one of 8 that hasn't done anything on it. One
We're
of
in the
8.
minority then.
Correct. Less than 10.
Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Price?
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Representative. I guess my question is, has there been an issue with a carried concealed permit holder in the past in the state where I'm trying to figure out what we're trying to address here, if there's actually a problem, if there's been a problem, because the way the law is written now, and just if there's an issue now that we're trying to address or not.
So the way I look at it as I've seen these school shootings happen on TV. I know we've all read about them and heard about them. They're horrific. And our state is very lucky to have not experienced one of these. I think this legislation is proactive. I think it's our responsibility as legislators to be proactive. And that's why I put it in. And that's what we're doing here with this. So that's why I put it in.
And I definitely appreciate your concerns. Yeah. But all the school shooting tragedies that have happened, I don't believe that they were lawfully carried concealed permit holders that actually did these atrocities. And perhaps if there was a lawfully concealed carry permit holder on the school property, it could have prevented a lot of this carnage from happening. So that's...
I actually don't believe that that's completely the case. I think we have plenty of other witnesses that will be able to attest to particular instances. That being said, if there was a way to completely eliminate these from ever possibly happening again, I know we would all be for it. I think we need to look at legislation that's proactive and that will address the concern and the possibility and lessen the possibility of this happening.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions?